Welcome everybody to Assemble this week, and our assembly this week is looking at a very, very important day that we celebrate through every single year. And we do that not only by buying poppies, but taking time and moments where we think of those that have laid their lives down for us in conflicts around the world. Now, I've got a very special number for you. It's the number 11. Can you say 11 after me? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Fantastic, the number 11. Because on the 11th day of the 11th month of November, at 11 o'clock in the morning, we each year have a 2-minute silence where we take time to reflect and think on those that have laid their lives down for us. And today you find me outside next to a memorial that has a number of names, people's names on it, of those that have laid their lives down for us. And around the country, in whatever town you are from or where you visit, you will see memorials such as this that will declare those that have laid their lives down. So guys, we're going to look at 2 things today. Number 1, we're going to look at honouring, and we're going to be honouring not only those that have laid their lives down in the First World War and also the Second World War, but every single conflict throughout history. We think of those that have laid their lives down for us, that we might have freedom. And number 2, we're going to look at resilience, and that's sticking to the task when things get hard. And these guys would have wanted to come home and not be in those fields and fighting, but actually be back in comfort in England. But they were resilient to the very things they needed to do. So right now, we're going to start our assembly and looking at Remembrance Day, and we're going to do that with Sheriff Tex and Rufus the dog. Let's have a look right now, shall we?
Howdy, boys and girls. My name is Sheriff Tex, and this is my dog, Rufus. Now, in the UK, you celebrate a special day on the 11th of November every year called Remembrance Day, which was the day the First World War ended. Now, here in the US, we celebrate the same day, but we call it Veterans Day. My great-grandpa was in the First World War, and I remember him telling me stories of being in the country of Belgium and the country of France. He said it was wet, cold, dark, with bullets flying everywhere and people getting injured. My great-grandpa was one of the fortunate ones. He came home to work on our family farm. We had 2 cows on our family farm, one called Belgium, the other called France, as these were the 2 countries great-grandpa had fought in the First World War. My great-grandpa always maintained that the cow from France had the best milk to make cheese, and the cow Belgium was the best cow for making milk for chocolate. Now, Rufus, we'd like to say a few words about Remembrance Day.
Oh yeah, Sheriff Tex. We remember. I remember well. I love cheese and chocolate.
No, Rufus, not those remembrance words.
Oh, okay, Sheriff Tex. I very much like cheese and chocolate.
No, Rufus, the thank you words.
Oh, sorry, Sheriff Tex. Okay, I love cheese and chocolate, and thank you for buying me some.
No, Rufus, remembrance words about our veterans.
Ah, Sheriff Tex, I remember now Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. Boys and girls, we'd like to say thank you to all the servicemen and servicewomen that have laid their lives down for us so that we might have freedom and have peace throughout our land.
Well done, Rufus. That was good. Now, let's say goodbye to the boys and girls now, Rufus.
Bye, boys and girls, and remember to be thankful for all people have done for us.
Come on, Rufus, let's get some of that chocolate and cheese.
Oh, I love cheese and chocolate.
So I want to tell you how we managed to pick the poppy, and it became a symbol of remembrance and a symbol of hope for our Remembrance Day. I'm going to take you back to the years 1914 to 1918, where across Europe, in Belgium and in France, fields that once had beautiful flowers and meadows in had now become war zones where men were fighting from all nations. And suddenly we see there's a story of a man called Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, who was actually a surgeon, a doctor from Canada, but in one of these battles he had lost his best friend who had died in the war. He went to the battlefield to see where his friend had died, and once where there was beautiful flowers, there was now just muddy war zones. But yet, in the middle of the war zone, with resilience, there was a poppy that was growing. Only the poppies were growing. And he leant down, picked the poppy, and said, "This will become a symbol of remembrance for my friend." At that time, he went back to his barracks and he wrote a famous poem that perhaps you can see and look at in your classes, called In Flanders Fields. And this inspired two ladies, one from France and one from the USA, who took on the poppy as it had inspired them, and they decided that it should become a symbol of hope right across the world. They looked to inspire it in the Canada and Australia and the UK and the USA, and they met a man called Earl Haig, who was the founder of the British Legion. And in talking to him about the poppy, he was inspired and said, "Yes, let's have it as the symbol of hope." That first year, in 1921, he ordered 9 million poppies, and they were sold really quickly. And each year, now 45 million poppies are sold across the UK. And actually, it takes 40,000 volunteers to make that happen. And every penny raised is used to help people in the services and their families across the UK. So we'd love you to go and buy a poppy. We'd love you to take this moment to actually say, the next time I see someone selling a poppy, whether that's one like this, or a bracelet, or a necklace, or some other way, all your money will go to help people. And this is how the poppy became the symbol of hope and remembrance.
In Flanders Field is a famous poem
written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae.
John McCrae was a Canadian field surgeon.
He wrote the poem after his friend was killed in battle.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the lark still bravely singing flies scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
First piece of it.
Learned so much in our Remembrance Assembly today, and we've seen how the soldiers showed such resilience in going to war, and even though they wanted to be at home, they served us in laying their lives down and fighting that we might have freedom. I wonder how we might be able to show resilience in our school communities and in our classrooms. And we've just seen a video of a young lad who had no lunch, but yet his friends looked out for him and saw that he had a need. And whilst he was out of the room, they served him by providing him his lunch. I loved the look on his face when he realised there were people in his class that cared for him. And right now, we're going to honour those that have laid their lives down by having a 30-second silence ourselves, where we will actually be quiet and think of those people that laid their lives down for us. And then straight after this silence, we are going to look at our questions and answers, where we can once again think about honouring people around us and also serving one another and showing resilience in everything that we do. Let's do that now, shall we?
Remembrance Day is a special day of the year celebrated throughout the world on the 11th day of the 11th month November at 11 a.m, which was the very time and date the First World War came to an end, or otherwise known as the Great War. Today we don't only celebrate peace being declared, but also use this time to honour every serviceman and servicewoman who have laid down their lives in all conflicts so that we can be safe, free and at peace. On Remembrance Day, we use the poppy as a symbol of hope and honour, but the poppy looks different in many countries. Within the UK, our poppy has red petals, which speaks of the blood of those who laid down their lives. The black centre speaks and represents are those of us who mourn the loved ones who never came home from conflict. And the green leaf represents the hope and new life, where crops and flowers now grow where wars once raged. We adopted the poppy since 1921. I'm sure as we honour those who laid down their lives, we can also reflect on our daily lives, where people sacrifice their time, energy, passion in looking after us and teaching us. This causes us to be thankful for each of them. Wouldn't it be wonderful for us to honour them throughout the year and each day, to say thank you to our parents and guardians who look after us daily, to be thankful to our teachers, our classroom assistants and others who work at the school, and to be thankful for those outside of our school community who look to make us happy and are our friends. Let's always use this time to say thank you. Here are 5 questions we'd like you to consider. 1. Name 3 people you'd like to honour this week by saying thank you. 2. What do you think you would have felt when peace was declared at the end of World War I? 3. Is it important to say thank you? If so, how often? 4. Can you remember anything of the information you've been told about the poppy? 5. What things can we do to show others that we are both grateful and thankful?
And that's the end of our assembly today, where we have been looking at Remembrance Day. Can you remember? On the 11th day of the 11th month November at 11 a.m, there's a 2-minute silence where we look to show our respect to all those that have laid their lives down. So we looked at 2 things today. We looked at honouring, and we do that by buying poppies, and that money's used to help support those that are needing help and have been in the services. So we buy poppies and we show to honour all those that have laid their lives down in every conflict throughout history. And honouring is being respectful and showing admiration for those people. And number 2, we looked at resilience, and that's about when we don't want to carry on doing things, but we know we have to be resilient and have to keep trying hard, that we still stick to the task that's ahead of us and are resilient in everything we do. So this week, you might feel occasionally that you want to give up, But actually, let's stick to everything that we do and let's honour those around about us. Maybe some teachers or friends or family that need to be honoured for everything they do for us as well. So let's remember those that have laid their lives down for us and show that we're very, very thankful. Have a good week. Take care.